If you have ever tried to convert an image to vector with image trace, you know the trap. It looks promising for about 10 seconds, then you zoom in and find jagged edges, random blobs, too many points, and a file nobody wants to edit. SVG Genie takes a different path. Upload the image, let AI rebuild it as clean vector artwork, and download a real editable SVG. The problem is not that your image is bad. Problem is that raster artwork and vector artwork are built differently. A photo, PNG, or JPEG is a grid of pixels. A vector is made from paths, curves, fills, and strokes. Simple tracing tries to guess those paths from pixels, and that is why the output often feels messy. SVG Genie works as an image-to-vector tool for people who need usable output, not just a trace preview. It reads the source image, rebuilds the important shapes, cleans up the results, and gives you scalable SVG artwork you can edit, export, and actually ship. That matters because vector files are the professional handoff format for logos, signs, stickers, websites, cutters, merch, packaging, and print. They stay sharp at any size, they can be recolored, and they give designers and developers a clean source file instead of a blurry backup. Traditional image tracing usually fails in 3 places. It keeps noise that should disappear, it adds too many anchor points, and it turns soft pixels into awkward shapes. You can spend the next hour cleaning that up by hand, or you can start with a smarter vectorized result. Here is the workflow. Upload the image you want to rescue. It might be a logo screenshot, a sketch, a flat icon, a badge, or an old PNG from a folder where the original vector file is long gone. SVG Genie analyzes it and prepares the vector version. A few seconds later, the vector is ready. The edges are crisp, the shapes are readable, and the output behaves like an SVG instead of a disguised bitmap. You can zoom in, inspect the paths, and use the file as a real production asset. Compare that with the usual raster workflow. Scale a pixel image and it gets soft. Scale the vector version and it stays sharp. That is the whole reason people search for image to vector in the first place. They need the artwork to survive bigger sizes, cleaner exports, and real-world use. The cleanup is where the time savings show up. Instead of manually redrawing every edge, you start with cleaner paths, fewer distractions, and a file that already understands the main shapes. You can still polish it, but you are not rebuilding the whole thing from zero. Once the image is vectorized, editing becomes normal again. Change fill color, remove a background, make a one-color version, create a dark version for a website header. Open it in Figma, Illustrator, Inkscape, or your code editor. A true SVG keeps giving you options. This is useful for more than logos. Vectorized icons, illustrations, sticker art, simple product marks, mascots, craft designs, app graphics, presentation visuals, and old brand assets. If the image needs to become crisp, editable, and scalable, it belongs in vector form. One honest note, not every image should become a vector. A detailed photograph is still a photograph, but flat art, logos, drawings, icons, badges, simple illustrations, and high-contrast graphics are perfect candidates. The best results come from images with clear shapes. Because the output is SVG, developers can use it directly, inline it in HTML, import it into React, animate pieces, recolor with CSS, or keep the SVG as the master asset for every other export. That is something a traced PNG cannot do cleanly. When the vector looks right, download it as SVG for editing and web use, PNG for quick sharing, or PDF for print. Keep the SVG as the source of truth, then create every other format from that clean vector file. Thousands of makers, founders, and developers already use SVG Genie because it turns vector work from a manual cleanup project into a fast AI track workflow. The search volume is high because this pain is real. People have images, but they need usable vectors. You can try it free with no credit card required. After that, credit packs start at $9 with no subscription to cancel. Compared with fighting image trace or paying someone to redraw one asset, that is a practical way to rescue graphics quickly. So if image trace keeps giving you junk, stop forcing it. Go to svggenie.com, upload your image, convert image to vector with AI, and download a clean editable SVG. Pixels in, paths out, ready to ship.